Valor Racing League action here on the Valor Racing League YouTube channel. Tonight we got the Pocono Raceway Cup Series taking to the track for the Daytona 250 from Daytona International Speedway. I am Ty of Hazard. Up in the booth with me tonight, I got my wonderful broadcast partner, Koala. How are you doing tonight?
I'm good, my man. Nice to be here tonight. It's going to be a fun race. Can't wait to see these guys go 3 wide here at Daytona tonight.
It's definitely going to be high-intensity racing. Only 3 drivers with wins on the season so far. Do you think that we're going to have a breakthrough tonight?
I do. I do believe this because it is Daytona. It is a track where the unknown can happen. I mean, guys that, hell, can even have a first start today and come up and win tonight. The cards got to lay your way, so it all depends on how it's going to go for most of these guys. Honestly, I could see a different winner tonight. I definitely could see it.
There's some kind of feeling in the air that I feel like it could happen. Speaking of drivers who I think we should look at, our pole setter Slade kind of came in from Watkins Glen with a decent run. Really good run, actually.
Yes,
momentum is rolling for him starting on pole tonight. We know qualifying doesn't really mean anything at plate tracks. It could mean that you have a really good dialed-in car, but at the end of the day, it's going to come down to being in the right place, the right time, in the right situation with the right strategy calls.
And track position is key in restricted play racing. I mean, yeah, it's the beginning of the race. You would think he had pole. It's the pole position. He doesn't need that. But if he can get up there and protect that front, he can hold off and maintain for a while. So it's nice to have that pole position because you automatically have a little of advantage if you can hold it up front.
And speaking of our pole sitter, we might as well go ahead and run through the starting grid. As I mentioned before, Slade starting on pole ran a 45.391. Put his number 38 Ford Mustang on pole. Starting second next to him is going to be 78 of Jose. Ran a 45.405. P3 is going to be DK Brown. Ran a 45.407 with his diesel motorsports Toyota. Then we go to the P4. That is, ironically, car number 4. Mike RPM ran a 45.419. Here to win esports. Number 4 Ford. P5 is McLovin. P6 is going to be diesel. P7 we've got Kill It Like Jason. P8 we've got Birdster. So 2 teammates taking row number 4 to get 3 cars with top 10s for here to win. So great way to start for those guys. P9 is going to be Coach Matt in the Montgomery Chevrolet. P10 is going to be Workman. And 11th is Bags. Ran a 45.602. 12th is going to be MJO Mateo. Ran a 45.618. And 13th is going to be the 32 of Extreme NASCAR. Ran a 45.681.
So you got literally 14th through 26th. Did not put a time, but I will give you the listing of where they will start. Cola starts in the 14th position at number 20. Max Boost will be 15th. 16th will be Baron 8. 17th, ironically, is the number 17 of Fluffy. 18th will be the number 88 of Celtics. 19th is going to start with the number 8 of Titans. 20th is going to be K Taddy in the 37. My man Brennan will be starting in the 21st position in the 95 car. Cyber in his number 16 to start 22nd. Perky 23rd. Jocko 24th. Saints 25th. And Robbie 26th.
And mentioning that those bottom 13 guys did not set qualifying times, a lot of those are strategy calls,
Yes.
wanting to be in the back towards the beginning of the race. Maybe save a little bit of fuel, because believe it or not, we will have pitting in stage 1. You get about 23 to 24 laps of fuel, and I believe you said 34 laps was the first stage. So,
Yes.
It's going to be interesting to see who's going to want to stay out for stage points and who's going to want to set up for stage 2.
And that all depends on the caution flow as well. Like I said, if these guys don't have a lot of cautions, this could be a strategy call race. But if it's not a lot, but a fairly amount of cautions throughout this race, that could change up the whole race plan. So these guys got to come in with a plan A and a plan B, basically.
Sometimes you might even need a plan C, maybe even a plan D, if it gets that far.
That is true.
Just speaking of Daytona, everybody wants to win here. This is such a legendary track. Nerves are going to be high, especially when you get in those late race situations where you could be in a winning position. You could be towards the back, wanting to make a move. A win here would mean a ton to anybody, locked in already or not.
A win definitely is going to be it's going to be great for anyone. Proven last night for me. Coming from the back, and hell, I think it was like 5 laps to go. I was about 18th, and I was like, I need to just get a decent finish at this point in time. That's because I was that far back. Now, if there was more laps in the race, my plan would have been to get up front, obviously. But if you get towards the end and if you're not in that top 10, I want to say, it's going to be hard to kind of get up there unless the guys up front crash, unless something happens between them. But it's going to be kind of hard to get up there. A win is going to be very... I think this win could propel a lot of guys. It could carry momentum for some guys. It could showcase some other guys that they're good on restrictor plates. It could also show guys that they're here to try to win in this series. So it's going to be a mixture of a lot tonight.
It's definitely going to be a lot to take in. There's going to be a lot to talk about during the race. I'm looking forward to hopefully getting the outside lane going. I'm a huge fan of two-wide racing, even three-wide racing, so knowing what these guys can do on a normal basis, I am sure that we will see that outside lane form up, and I'm excited to see where that goes.
It's going to be great. So, I honestly, 3 wide at Daytona, whew, it's going to be pretty fun, I'm not going to lie. Let's see.
Speaking of those 3 drivers that are locked in, Max Boost coming off of a win last week at Watkins Glen, his second win on the season. Cola Motorsports also has 2 wins on the season, and Fluffy getting his win, I believe, at Auto Club in the opener. So those are the 3 guys that are locked in. They kind of have a little bit of breathing room. Obviously, it's the beginning of the season, so we're not really in high-stress situations anyways, but either way, to be able to go into Daytona and kind of already know that you got 2 wins, you just need to focus on getting playoff points, I feel like that's a pretty good way to sit here.
That is, I mean, knowing these guys, most of them, even if they are above that, they're still going to go out there and win. But you're right, it's kind of like a little safety, and it's kind of like you don't have to push as hard if you don't need to. Like, if you feel like you're going to you don't want to mess up some other guy that's trying to get to the front because you want to try to, ruin it for them. They can't do that, and I don't think anybody would do that. The way this is going to go is most guys are going to play it smart, especially the ones that won. They're going to play it smart in this race, realizing they don't necessarily need this race win, but it would be nice to have it.
As we are getting closer and closer to race time, as there are the invites. So here we go. It's go time. I'm gonna pop on back out as I misread.
Yeah, Brennan will send us the go.
Okay. Oh yeah. I have messages off. I think that is might be.
You did. Yep, you did have that up. My bad. I should have relayed that to you. That's my fault.
You're good. You're good.
We're gonna have in-car cameras as well. We're gonna ride along with Brennan tonight.
I will be riding along with Mr. K Taddy.
And see how these guys do getting through the field. We're gonna see how it looks from their perspective. And see how they're going to march their way up to the front. As I do believe my fellow teammate in the National Series is starting towards the back a little bit. No, towards the front. Is it towards the front? I'm not sure. Yeah, it's 21st for him. So we're going to see him and we're going to watch him march up through the field. As there's 26 guys. That's a lot of guys here at Daytona.
It sure is. I think the biggest field that I've been in at Daytona was actually last night, and I'm not sure how many we had.
I think we had 23.
So pretty close.
And that was actually the biggest one I've been in at Daytona too. So
there's a lot of anxious guys that are starting mid-pack. Maybe a little more calm in the back, and if you're in the front, you're kind of just trying to ride it out. So, whew.
It's going to be a wild one. As DW said, it's going to be a wild one. We're going to see some sparks fly.
And I think everybody knows that big one's going to be coming. If it happens, it's going to be win. Clearly, obviously, that's logic. That was kind of a redundant statement.
Yes, we can join now, my man.
Alrighty. There we go.
Let's all these guys in here. We're gonna hope and pray they put on a show for us, and I'm not hoping and praying they're gonna put on a show for us for one.
So we can get ready to load in here. I want to thank Pocono Raceway for sponsoring the Cup Series. once again, as this is race 6 of the 20 race season.
Race 6, just now reaching that 25 mark. %mark, I might add, sorry.
You're good.
In case it didn't make sense.
So, I mean, we still got 3/4 of the season, and this race could feel like it's going to be a little while. As here we go. As these guys get ready to line up here.
Getting ready to hit pace laps. I do believe it's going to be only one pace lap. I'm not 100% sure on that, but that is my best guess. It will be one pace lap.
So we see everybody start to get through the field here. Looking at all these beautiful paint schemes. There's a 32 of NASCAR Extreme. 78 of Jose. There's Coach Matt in that Columbia Sportswear car. And I believe...
Oh, got some issues here. I think they're backing out.
Alrighty. We will...
I never got a message or nothing, but I think they're backing out.
I'm getting a message on the broadcast here. Oh. I believe... Yeah, everybody's out.
Alright. Sorry, guys, for all the technical difficulties here.
Take a quick mic mute for a second. I got a dog going crazy in the background here.
You're good, man. Go ahead. As the driver had to get put back in the race. I think they didn't get him in there in time. So they're restarting the whole thing to make sure he gets a chance and shot at a win tonight. Don't know exactly what driver it was.
As we got Easy E, National Series driver in the chat, cheering for H2 or Here to Win Esports. I don't know why I actually said H2W. That was a interesting thing that I almost did there. And old Griggs cheering for Peach State.
And we appreciate you guys tuning in. Hopefully we get everything straightened out. As everybody, guys are trying to make sure everybody gets into this race, which is what I liked about the Valor Racing League. They make sure to, even if you are running behind, they will try to work with you a little bit. So that's one thing I do appreciate about these guys.
Yeah, they want to make sure everybody gets their opportunities to race, especially if they practice all week for it. They don't want you to be a little late and miss your shot. So I appreciate that about them and how they run it.
It's all about growth here. It starts off this way, and guys are gonna work their way up. Gonna showcase a lot of speed for some guys, and it's not all about speed. It's also about skills. So you gotta have a mixture of both here. Just in this, not even just in this series, just in the national as well, but mainly in this one because you get a little bit more notice here. But
I mentioned this a little bit before, but Here to Win, they have their 3 cars inside the top 10 in qualifying. Diesel also doing the same thing with DK and Diesel.
Yep.
And then I think we see a trend there with the Saints guys. They got 3 of their guys in a row taking that strategy call, starting the back. Same thing with Peach with the 6 and the 17. So Fluffy. And I actually slaughtered the handwriting on driver of the 6 car. That was...
that is... Baronate.
Alright. Yeah, that does not look like Baronate on my end. That is...
You not writing anything down? Over here reading it, it's like, oh, that says pudding? I didn't know what that said. Alright, we can go ahead and join my man.
Alrighty.
I was gonna do take 2.
Here we go again. We're going to pop on in here and get ready to see some Daytona racing. 3 wide, high speeds, high banks.
Some huge drafts. And maybe an occasional big one.
There's always a 50-50 chance.
Well, this is NASCAR heat, so
it indeed is.
75-25 chance.
Yeah, might want to increase it a little bit.
You know what? Let's go ahead and say 95% 5. Like this 95-5. it's because if one car goes sideways, everybody wants to avoid that one car, and no one thinks about the other cars around them, and it's just mayhem. As we're about to get everything set up here, as we already know, pole sitter Slade isn't changing actually any positions. He will start P1.
So we see everybody shuffle through the field. Take a look at some of these schemes again. There's a 32 again. He's got the 16 of Cyber, the 17 of Fluffy, as he will be dropping to the 17th position.
Car owner Diesel, my man's out there, always showing support and helping me out through the National Series. So I appreciate him. Want to give him a shout out. He starts up in the top 10 here today. I hope he go out there and get a win for us. We also got Bags, the number 1 Monster Energy. The 12 out here, who that Saints? And the 12, he's obviously got the regular Daytona Brian Blaney scheme. He gives me that Daytona feel for him. Mo Powell with the 88 scheme. He's got a lot of nice schemes in here today.
So we see Jose starting P2 today. Good qualifying run for him. See what he can do tonight.
DK starting 3rd. My other fellow teammate, not really so teammate, but still in the same shop. Starting 3rd. We're gonna put on. Let's see if these boys can put on a show tonight. I want to see what they got.
That is a beautiful number 14 scheme that we are seeing on Jason's.
Nice. That is nice. As I think there's still cars trying to get together here.
So
I do believe we're going green this lap.
Get back to our pole sitter here. Slade as coming into the Geico restart zone.
No?
Nope.
No green? They're doing 2 face laps. Okay. It's either 1 or 2. I don't know what theirs are, but it's either 1 or 2. It's never more than that.
So we got 26 cars ready to go. These guys are itching to go green. Get these motors running.
I will say, I think the 3 cars got the best scheme.
I like the patriotic look.
I might say the 3 cars got the best scheme. I mean, don't get me wrong. The 2-car scheme is nice too as well. Got that 4th of July feel as well. But we all know that 17 car, not exactly that driver, but the 17 car has been the victory lane here at Daytona before.
It sure has. I mean, driver of the 17 that put it in victory lane. Scheme. Yeah, in that paint scheme was known to be aggressive, but I feel like there's times where you're a good aggressive and then you're a questionable aggressive. But Fluffy is the type of driver that he is good aggressive.
I think Fluffy's looking very stout, man. I have no doubt in my mind Fluffy will be up here contending for the win. They're getting ready. I would assume we're going green this time. Let's hope I'm right this time.
As we cycle back to our pole center here, Slade, number 38.
Jose, out on the outside. Take it away, my man.
As they go into the restart zone, DK Brown going to try to give Slade a big shove, get that out inside lane out ahead. As that is exactly what's going to happen. DK out shoving Slade right to the lead. Jose cannot slide in. Here comes Mike RPM, Diesel, and Kill It Like Jason starting to form that inside lane. Jose is just out to dry right now.
Yes, he is. He's left out there. 43 looking to peek out there. Coach Matt looking out there to possibly give some assistance. And he slides back in on the inside lane as now guys are going to be fighting for that inside as the Jose finds position back, and I want to say the 6-7 position.
And right now leading the outside lane is the 2-car of Mateo. He's out there riding it with Cola right now. He's going to slide in, and so we got about 2 cars. Oh, they're starting to form an outside lane up front, trying to look for a second. Coach Matt and Diesel started to move out there. Mike RPM started to peak, but right now it is Slade out front leading a single file line. DK Brown second, Mike RPM third, fourth Kill It Like Jason, and fifth is Diesel.
This is DK getting a little hungry out there. He wanted to make that pass. Thought the 4 was going to go with him, which he should have known he wasn't. He's the lone right there between those two forwards. His teammates back there in 5th, but he's the lone one right now by himself. I don't think he should pull out. There's 2 more forwards behind him. They're gonna stick with that 38 in his in Slade's forward, and they're gonna work with him. He's got to make sure he's got some help up there.
As we mentioned, Here to Win Esports right now, 2 of their cars in the top 5, and we look a little bit further back to Birdster. He's right now inside the top 10, I believe. He's leading a pretty big line. There's a little bit of space there between himself and Bags and that front pack, but far more cars in that second pack than there are in the front pack, so they could easily get grouped back up together. But it could be a strategy call to stay a little bit further off, and now they're all one big line.
As guys are trying to make moves, they're just like, as I remember when Casey Kane said in one Daytona 500, he didn't like to ride around. He wanted to make moves. He wanted to get racy. These guys, some of these guys want to make moves. Other guys, like the first top 8, I want to say, they just want to ride in that line. And you kind of got to do what they want to do unless somebody goes with you and forms that second line.
As right now, 2 cars out of the draft, the 22 of Jocko and the 77 of Max Boost, 2 cars that are not in the draft at all. They are out to dry. At least they have one another, though.
It's all strategy, man. It's all strategy. I believe the 77 always has a plan. We know Max Boost. He always has a plan.
Then we've got a little bit further ahead of those 2. McLovin, Cola, and Robbie, all 3 rolling together. Could be the same strategy call that we're seeing from them as well. And back up to the front. As we see Coach Matt peeking to the outside, trying to get a lane going. Is anybody going to go with him?
It doesn't look like it. It looks like, well, the 1 car peaked. Oh, he came up a little bit. 10 car goes up on the inside of him. Burster's making that move on the inside. Now they're getting double foul here. And it's going to take guys going under guys, moving guys to get those guys in the outside lane, and that's what's going to form that outside lane.
As the 2 of Mateo, he peeked up there for a second, then comes back down. As the 32 getting a huge run on the 10 of Birchter there. But out front still is Slade to a pretty, he's got to be pretty consistent, pretty happy with DK staying right behind him. Mike RPM not really making any moves. Everybody knows that it's stage 1.
Yeah, this stage 1. It's a long race. It's 100 laps. Daytona, man. It's a long race. You got a long time. And once you get to about stage 3, that's when you want to kind of make your way to the front. Right now, these guys are just riding. And they got a long way to go in this race. As I think we're only approaching, I want to say lap 6 or 7 here.
As for a second there, it looked like the 62 of Workman started to try to make a lane, but he's going to slide back in. Nobody was really out there with him.
So I said we're on lap 8. There's 25 to go in stage 1. And the 1 car making a move on the outside there. Bags tried. No one went with him.
That's going to cost him. He's going to go all the way to the back.
Cost him a lot. He had a good position right there. But that's the moves you can make right now. That's the moves you can afford right now. If this is the end of the race, he would be upset with that move. But it's the beginning. You can afford to make that move. You want to make that move to see who you can trust and who you can't trust throughout towards the end of the race. Like, if you're behind, if a guy's behind you and you pull out, he doesn't go with you, you're like, okay, it's the beginning race, he didn't even go out with me, so now I know at the end of the race he's not going to do that. It's sort of a test. Some guys do it to test it out, some guys don't. Some guys drop to the back just to see if they can even drive up to the front. So.
And right now it looks like the 2 packs that were separated have kind of merged into one. Robbie Racing was left out to dry, but we've got the 20, the 00 of McLevin, and the 20 of Cola, sorry. And then we've got Jocko and Max Boost, the 4 of them in a pack, as the 22 seems to have a little bit of a shaky moment for a second. Seems to be all right, though.
As I touched on earlier about the pole position here, most guys say the starting position doesn't matter. Slade has started this race on the pole and has not relinquished that lead from that pole position. That is the key point of starting up front. You manage the race. You control the race. You're in front. You control how the race goes and how the race flows. It's the 19 of Diesel looking to make a move. Will DK run with him on the outside, try to get that run?
Everybody's starting to go up there. Everybody's trying to find a hole. There's not really one, but they could have had that work. Here comes DK to the outside.
DK now. DK too little, too late, man.
If he would have done it,
it's going to cost him.
If he could have done it a little earlier, he could have killed the inside's momentum, and that would have given the outside lane a little bit of a run.
And that might have been the one that took the lead from Slade. 4-car Mike RPM is leaning on the back of that 38 car Slade right there. 3 Fords up front in your top 3. Toyota's in 4th. As now DK has fallen back almost outside the top 10.
As everybody but 2 cars single file, it looks like the 12, and I believe the 2 that are back there still single file.
And
or
I
double
really
file.
hope, like a lot of guys in the National Series, just watch this race. Not even just to watch it, and I'm not trying to say that we did, but I know we did bad. I want us to watch it as to see how it goes. This is how we're supposed to do it. These guys are running single file. No one's bumping into anybody. No one's hitting anybody. You know, I think even Ty can agree with me on this. This is a great footage for a lot of guys to watch here and see how it's done at restricted play tracks.
I mean, we're seeing them lift in the corners, which when you're lifting in the corners, you're actually allowing the car in front of you to not get tight. You're not pushing. And then
Exactly.
if everybody's doing that, then they're going to run quicker because they're not getting tight. They're not running up. They're not having to turn down too hard to hit the apron. It's just allowing for quicker lap times as Coach Matt gets out of the groove there, all the way up to the wall. He might be able to tuck in here.
As 3 Fords keep dominating, and as I actually go back a little bit further here, in the top 7, there's only one oddball, and that's my man, my owner, Diesel. He's the only odd Toyota out there. The rest are Fords. So the Fords are ganging up towards the front here.
And drivers that we mentioned were starting in the back. How about Fluffy? Started 17th, and he is up to, I believe that is the 7th position. And also, somebody who was right there with him was the 32, started 13th. So, great way to start the race for those guys. Slowly picking them off, making their way through the field.
As well as Titans and the number 8 machine. I always talk about Titans. He's always my little underdog pick. He starts in the back. He finds his way up towards the front all the time. Gets good finishes. I like talking about Titans, man. Started in the back. He started back there in 19th. He's running up there in 8th.
Taddy also started P20. He is just outside the top 10. I'm not sure exactly where he's running, but he is up there on the outside lane trying to get something rolling.
As well as Perky, started 23rd. He's in the 9th position right there in the 21. These guys showing a lot of stuff here as I circle back to the back of the track. We got Robbie racing with a pack of 5, and it includes Max Boost, as well as Cola Motorsports, and I believe Jocko. Some guys back here, I think a strategy is being called by these guys. We got a car around, the 2 car in the grass.
Is he the only? He seems to be the only car that did wreck. That is Mateo, currently going through the infield grass.
Tough break for MJO, my man. He's going to get back up to speed here. His day is not done here. It's a long race. He's got to get his head back in the game and focus. He can still get a good, decent finish out of this, and if not, win this race. He's got to focus. 16 got out of the line there, but he got back in. He's good.
As we go back to the front again, we're still seeing the Fords do what the Fords do here. As we got Mateo all the way up in the outside wall, shouldn't be a problem. Everybody gets by.
He does go a lap down, the only car that is a lap down. As I look at the top 10 here, 8 of the top 10 are Fords. The other 2 oddballs are Diesel in a Toyota and Titans in his Chevrolet. The rest are Fords.
I think part of that is due to the fact that we're seeing some of the Toyotas and the Chevys that are in the back kind of pulling that fuel-saving strategy. As Diesel's up there, Cola, his teammate, is back there in that pack, and Brennan is not too far behind Diesel. He's just outside the top 10 in the 95.
Strategies everywhere, man. The 19, the 95, and the 20, all part of the same team. All 2 of them are throwing a whole different strategy. The 20 car is riding around in the back trying to save fuel. My assumption, exactly what he's doing here, and he might be trying to give these guys a little bit of insight. I'm gonna start back here see what happens, see if I can save gas back here. And if we can do that, we can translate this into the third stage. We can try to work with this. Guys are critiquing everything as the race goes on.
And as we go a little bit further to the back here, guy that's kind of running mid-pack, Cyber, started P22, and he's one of those guys that just kind of stayed patient, slowly wiggled his way through the field, and
Yes,
is now in position to save fuel, running in the middle of this pack.
And that's, I mean, it's not necessarily a bad thing right now, guys. Like I said, they're riding around. They're biding time. They know how long this race is. They're just going to try to make it. They already know they're trying to make it to the end. They don't. Nobody wants to have any bad luck. So everybody's trying to make sure they make it to the end of this race and have a great finish, but have fun and make it to the end. Just showcase a great race show. They want to do that. I'm still waiting on this big one, though. I am indeed waiting on the big one.
As we see the 12 of Saints, he tried to make a move there. It looked like nobody really went with him.
We got the 3, I believe, on the apron here. As he's slow now. The 3 car of Robbie Racing, the British fellow. Now that I know he's British, I never knew he was British until last night. But he is British, and he's a great racer. I love racing with Robbie.
As Mateo's going to go another lap down. Sorry about that.
Mateo went another lap down? Oh boy. Not a good showcase. You go more than 2 laps down at Daytona, it's going to be hard to recover. As someone's heading down pit road here. I believe it is K Taddy.
It's a possible strategy call there. And someone that I actually saw dropped with this pack from the lead pack, it's Coach Matt. He went back to the pack that Cola and Robbie were in until Robbie had that mistake. But then we've got Jocko, we've got McLovin, and Max Boost all back here. So that's another car to that fray.
Strategy calls everywhere, man. I think they know what they're doing. Just wanted to give a shout out to Justin Mons in chat. Appreciate you checking in on the broadcast, my man.
It's up front. It's still the Fords. Right now we got 1, 2, 3 for Ford. Then that Toyota of Diesel breaking that up. But then we've got 2 more Fords right behind him. 3 more Fords actually.
Ford Nation, they're taking over everything up front right now. But needless to say, the 18, the 95 are still back there in the 19's arsenal. So he's not alone. He has his teammates roughly around the top 10. As I do believe they're reaching about 7 to 8 laps on fuel. The front runners should be. So we should be seeing some green flag pit stops here soon. Let's take a look. Scrolling through the field here. Again, every lap has been led by Slade, that man in 38, showcasing his Daytona skill up front. And that 4 car has never left his bumper. He's been on that bumper the entire time, sitting in second position. And the 14 car as well, proving that he is stout in the top 3. None of these guys are trying to change positions here. So like Jason, showing heavy behind his teammate there.
As these guys are going around the single file line, we're seeing these lap cars that have pitted, making pit strategy, trying to make a call. They are going a lap down. Obviously, they will cycle back through when the pit stops are made, but maybe trying to get something out of pitting a little earlier.
Strategy. It might come into play. If there's no caution, it might come into play here.
As we see the 32 get a little bit below the yellow line, but he's going to be able to bring it back up.
So we see guys are starting to spread out just a little bit more. Start seeing that pack in the back is getting bigger and bigger. Every time I go back to it, it started out with 4 cars, now it's up to, I believe, 6, 7.
Yeah, as Robbie has made his way back to that pack. Same thing with Mateo. And then obviously Coach Matt joining that. So those guys could be onto something.
Indeed, these guys, I think they think that these guys are going to run hard and run wide open up front, so why not pull a strategy card? Why not have a plan B or have an option another option is the way they have an option. You know, they're running wide open. Why not try to save fuel?
As I believe the 32 might have pitted, because I do not see him in that front pack. So let's check on that real quick.
Do you believe
the 6 pitted?
Yes, NASCAR Stream is coming off pit right now.
So did the 6 of Baronate. He also pitted. See if there's any other cars. I don't think there are.
As the field cycles by the 32 here. The 6 cars coming off pit road now. K-Taddy did pit. He is a lap down, but he's still with this lead pack here. He takes a run on his outside here. See what he can do. See what he can showcase up there. See how fast this car can be on that outside lane. He gained a little bit. And now he's going to fall back into position behind the 1.
As nobody pitted that time around from the lead pack. So I think a lot of these guys are also just trying to force these other guys' hands. And kind of...
As we see the 77 hit pit road. That whole back pack is starting to hit pit road now.
I mean, these guys are starting to force each other's hands.
Jocko, Bert, sorry.
No, you're
Coach
good.
Matt, Max Boost. These guys are all hitting pit road now. Strategy, they might force these guys. These guys might try to pit here. As I look into the end car of 95, and I think I see him approaching 4 laps of fuel left.
And Slade's going to bring it down pit road.
As we see a bunch of cars peel off here.
So Slade's coming in. See the 10 of Birdster.
95. And now it's all going to be who can get back together, who can run faster, and how it's going to play out now. These guys that pitted a little earlier, I think, it's the 22 and a 20 look to get together coming off pit road. They can make it all the way through. We're still going green. But I believe these guys, I don't know if that was a smart strategy call for them to be that far back and pit. In my opinion, I don't. And I could be wrong here, but I don't know.
I feel like
it's a weird strategy. It's one of those. 16 at Cyber hit pit road. Go ahead.
It might work, and then there's times where they could just be trying to set up for stage 2, and I don't know.
It could be. You're right. It could be a strategy call for stage 2. It could definitely transition to where they're like, all right, we already know we got to pit in stage 2, so let's go ahead and pit now. We might go 10 or 15 laps in stage 2, but we'll be up front. And we got track position, so we know we'll get it back if there's no caution. There might be. Strategies everywhere, man. Strategies are called everywhere. That's what I love about Daytona. Strategy can be called everywhere.
As I'm wondering...
trying to make that run with the 88 up there.
I'm wondering who's going to come in this time. If anybody, nobody's going to come into the pit lane this time. However, I feel like when they do, pit lane is going to be very busy.
Oh, it's going to be very busy. As the 1 car... trying to showcase on the top. As I want to point out now, we have only had 2 leaders of this race. They have both been forwards. The 38 of Slade has led the majority of the laps, and the 4 car, I believe he's only led about 3 or 4 laps now since Slade has pit.
As we
These
see
guys
Brennan.
a little racy. I think they're giving that signal that they're going to head down pit road, I believe.
Oh, contact.
More contact. Brennan, a little bit involved there. He goes back in the pack. I don't know how much damage was done to his car. It's the 18 and the 62 of Seawork Man hit the pit road. 88 also peels off.
So there's 3 more cars added to that bunch. It's here in the second pack.
Lose track of who's the leader.
Yeah, we're getting right at that point. As I saw a little bit of contact in the back of the pack between Coach Matt, or not it might have been Coach Matt. I don't know. It was one of those 2 of those cars that were in the backpack. Made a little bit of contact, but everybody maintained.
As these guys are showing off a lot, and they're showcasing this is, there has not been a caution, and that's very impressive right now. And that's because no one's amped up the aggression. This looks like an actual NASCAR race. No one's amping up that aggression because they know they got a long race ahead of them. Now this aggression might not be it might not look this way towards the end. It might not be just single filed, and that's for a great finish for all the fans out there watching.
As we're seeing quite a bit of a gap there between the 2 here to win esports cars and Diesel. with help from Fluffy there. A little bit of a gap started to form, but they're kind of reeling it back in now.
Diesel looks to the outside here. Fluffy also takes it to the outside. Will they make an attempt to go for the lead? 14 gets off the Forest bumper. As now the 17 is all over the 19's bumper, but he comes off. 19's getting a huge shove down the front straightaway. Who's going to lead this lap? And 19 gets that lap led. We have a third different leader in this race. It's my owner there, Diesel.
His bag started to get a little bit of a run there, but then he caught the outside wall. Looked like he had something going for him there. But then again, you see that inside lane, 5 cars versus 2. The inside lane's always going to prevail. Mike RPM right back to the lead.
And same thing with the 17. He gets back in the 19, hits the inside as well. These guys, it's hard to maintain formation. And these guys are trying to maintain that formation. They want to stay side by side. I believe some cars may be pitting here, or the 19 may believe he has some speed. Oh, 37 gets into the wall.
As if you look back to the pack that we were watching earlier, the 32 now in that pack. That is the newest addition to that pack, as well as the 12. So that pack is growing.
Bigger and bigger.
As caution seems to be out. Yep, caution's out.
Caution is
out.
That
is stage.
Track.
Is it stage?
And that is the stage. Yes, that is the stage.
Oh, we got a huge jumble of cars here on the front straightaway. So we will get your stage results. I'm pretty sure it was Mike RPM who took it, though.
Amazing. I don't believe none of them pitted.
So they must have saved quite a bit of fuel.
They must have been half throttling the majority of this race, which makes sense. They might have been half throttling, and that probably was the reason they were single file. These guys probably were half throttling the race. I would have to look at some lap times. I would love to see some lap times here by those guys from that first part. Is actually I will look back to see.
As it was Mike RPM, Kill It Like Jason, Diesel, Fluffy, Titans, Jose, Perky, Workman, Celtics, and I could not see the 10th driver. The quality was kind of eking in and out there, but
43s. They were running half throttle. I mean, these guys know what they're doing here. So I believe majority of the drivers pitted here as the 4 car and the 14 teammates lead them back to green, heading to turn 1.
As the outside lane is definitely, it has more fight in it than it did on the initial start, as Diesel is all over the back bumper of Kill It Like Jason.
78 as well as these 218 all shoving on that outside, trying to make this a race a little bit, just a little for the stage, and especially knowing that this could be their way of getting up front and maintaining it, especially for the stage 2 here.
How about Perky in the 21? Up into the top 10. Started P23, right now rides P4.
Getting a little racy up here. That outside it's just not forming the way it should. Not a 4 car of RPM is leading with the 17 of Fluffy. Fluffy is showcasing some speed here. It's been a little talk saying that the 77's only won twice this season, and both of those races Fluffy didn't compete in. And a lot of people are trying to say, can he actually win with Fluffy in the series?
Gotta remember Cola too. Cola has been riding around in the back, been pretty silent, but then again, that could have been a strategy call.
77 of Max Boost still biding his time in the back. Doesn't seem to be making any race moves right now. He's about 21st, 22nd.
As at the line this time by will be 26 laps left here in stage 2. So we could see some more fuel saving. I believe we will. It's going to be just about half of the laps that they saved in stage 1.
Just about. Is coming around here. Fluffy he's looking like he wants to go, but he's just kind of riding around. It's Titans showing up in the 3rd position there, and Perky 4th.
It's back in the back, Mateo.
Mo Power.
Mateo stopped on the front straightaway. Heavy damage to the front end of that 2 machine.
As it is, as he heads down pit road.
Not the day he wanted.
It was a tough day for my man there. As the 88 takes the outside, looking to get a little bit of some speed there. As the 19 tried to come up with them, didn't work out so well, and everybody goes back to the bottom here again.
As we are still seeing the Fords, again, holding 5 of the top 6 spots. Titans right now being that top 5 breaker, sitting P3. Diesel still hanging on for P6. He's been top 7 all race so far. Oh, a little bit of contact. I think Bags just got the outside wall just a little bit there. That's going to slow him and most of that line up.
Take a look at Slade. Back to 5th here. Slade's got a car. Slade's got the car to win tonight. I feel like Slade's got a car that can win. And he's been carrying that momentum and showing that he can actually go out there and get this win in this series tonight. He could do it. So we got McLovin off pace in the back, running by himself solo. As this race is basically in the 2 packs. We got the big pack, and then we got a second 4-car pack with the 22 of Jocko, the 77 of Max Boost, the 12 car as well as in this pack of Saints, and then the 3-car of Robbie. This is the fact they've been working together in the back. They're riding around. I think they're riding and try to make it to the end.
Here comes the outside lane.
Outside finally getting up there. His teammates and my owners out there doing big things out there. The 38 also. They all got fast cars. They all started within the top 7 of this race, including the 38 who started on the pole. We already know he's got a fast car. He's going to give you a heck of a push down the straightaway as the 19 looking for the lead on the outside.
And that is the 2nd time that he's led a lap on the outside lane. This time he's got a lot more help as there's more cars that are just catching up. We're starting to see 2-wide racing here, Koala.
We're starting to get the double file now, guys. Guys are starting to get a little bit racy. They're starting to showcase a little bit of skill, which may...
Oh! 3-wide.
Oh, 3. Whoa, wow, 3-wide. And this is probably the reason why Max Boost and Jocko and Robbie Racing and those guys are all in the back. This is probably exactly why they're riding around back here, to avoid this. As we got to remember, damage is on for these guys. So it's a little bit different than last night's race here. These guys can play this riding in the back strategy because they don't want to have that damage and have to come down pit road.
And the reason why they went 3-wide there, I think Slade tried to break that line, and he did. He was up to 2nd for just a little bit, but then when that outside lane was gone, Diesel made the right move, pulled down, slid into the lead, as Mateo was actually about to put another lap down. Not the day he wanted.
Not at all. It's not a great day for that man there, but you win some, you lose some. You have off weekends, and I've had a couple in the National Series until this past weekend. I haven't had top 10 until this past weekend since my first start, so that tells you a lot. You struggle some, you don't. As Brennan working with his teammates, Acola and the 18 at DK.
There's 20 to go when they hit the line this time by. And looking at Taddy's fuel, he's looking pretty good, saving just almost enough, as much as we thought they would have to, trying to make it to the end of the stage.
Shout out to Joker Smoker cheering on Chris Perky out there. As well as Jaden Holland. Hope I didn't say your last name wrong, but things up in the chat as well. Appreciate you tuning in, my man.
And something I noticed. Go ahead.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
So Kill It Like Jason, not up there with his teammate of Mike RPM. He's a little bit further in the back, but he is with another teammate, Birdster. Birdster hasn't really done much, but it's been about a stage and a half. He's probably been doing the same thing everybody else is, just kind of hanging out, chilling. But I do expect, we've seen the 4 and the 14 be quick. I expect the 10 to be right up there with him towards the end of this race.
I do. I already know Birdster, and Birdster is not a guy to just finish back there. He's gonna get up there and try to get racy. And right now, like I said, these guys are just hanging around. As Baronate's coming off pit road, looks like he pulled a pit stop. The field cycles past him here, and he will be a lap down.
Speaking of teammates, 3 diesel cars all in a row. The 18, the 20, and the 95 found each other.
Fellow diesel teammates showcasing our Toyota power, as they are the lone Toyotas in this field. This is Diesel's out front. Diesel's got a strong car here. And as he's pointed out, he's done this before. He's won here before. Actually, I do believe in the Pro League, I want to say he won here. So he's got a fast shit-to-play car. He knows how to race on shit-to-play tracks, and he hugs that line. He knows how to hug that line there. He knows how to hold a line. He's not going side to side or shifting, and that's a key part right there, and especially for speed.
As when they cross the line, I'll see how many laps they have to go here. So we're about, I'd say, a quarter, maybe even just over a quarter of a lap behind on that.
77 looks to be getting a little loose there. 22 also.
Oh, big wreck.
Oh, we got a car around. We got cars around.
32, 95.
Kill It Like Jason.
16, a Cyber got involved, it looked like.
Some guys that were riding around in the back.
Yeah, the 22, the 3. Both of them involved.
I don't believe there's a caution here. Or they might be racing back to the line. One of the
Workman.
two. I don't know.
Workman with damage as well.
I think they're racing back to the line here. Four car looking to the outside. 17 trying to give him a shove. 8 car going behind a 19. As it does look to be, yes, it is indeed a caution.
So at that time, 16 to go remaining here in stage 2. We could see pit stops. I personally don't see anybody in the top 6, maybe even top 7 really coming in.
It could be a thing. I mean, it all depends on these guys. Their cars look very stable. I don't think they're going to have to. It just really depends what they want to. And I mean, at the same time, this is Daytona. You don't want to give up track position here. That's a key thing. Track position is so key at Daytona. So you don't want to give it up if you don't have to. Getting ready for pit stops. This is our first caution of the night, besides the stage break.
As we're going to see who's going to pit. Sure enough, everybody's coming in. Oh no! Mike RPM, last second, pops out. Look at Perky. He's going to do the same thing.
Cola's also going to stay out here, as well as Birdster. A couple strategy calls here. Six car as well. Baronate looks to be staying out.
So we're going to see who wins the race off of pit road for everybody that pitted here.
This looks to be the 8 car. Might have took 2 tires there. Got a little bit off. Got an edge off there. 37. Second Slade.
Got Fluffy, Coach Matt.
There. 17 gets out.
Celtics.
It's a lot of guys. And the thing about some of these guys that rode in the back here, some guys got damage that rode in the back. The 77 almost got involved. He was able to get through it, but he almost got involved in that wreck there.
As we cycle back up front, the new leader is going to be the 4 of Mike RPM.
Yes, Mike RPM. Again, we've only had 3 leaders in this race. 4 car, 19 of Diesel, and a 38 of Slade. It could get a little bit more racy, though. We're getting around to the end of stage 2. Guys are going to start to get a little push. It's gonna be a lot of give and give. There ain't gonna be no taking.
And so right now, 2 cars that started pretty deep in the field. Taddy started P20. Perky started P23. Right now, they are in contention for some stage points.
These guys get position here.
Cycle back up to the leader here, Mike RPM.
Let's just get ready to cycle through here. 4 car, 21 of Perky on the front row.
As they're going to go one more.
Another lap around here. The 37 as well. K Taddy up in 4th.
Started P20. So Perky, Taddy, both of them started either just in or just outside the top 20.
Jason Titans, he started in 19th position there. A lot of guys from the back up front. We see the 77 boost. He's up in the top 8 now.
Fluffy started 17th. So a lot of these guys, I think the only 2 people that started inside the top 10 that are currently inside the top 10, actually make that 3, would be DK, Slade, and Mike RPM. And Coach Matt
as well.
Coach Matt as well, yeah. So we're seeing a lot of these guys
from the back making it to the front here.
Strategy starting to work.
And it's going to get a little antsy for the guys that started up front because they know they had front running cars, so they want to get back up to the front. And it's going to make those pushes become a little bit harder pushes, which is going to cause more and more wrecks, little by little. So let's see what these guys could do on this restart coming back.
And as we get ready to go green here, I'm going to try to see how many laps they have to go. I think we're approaching 10 to go here.
Paul Bear, appreciate you joining in on the broadcast. As we're going to get ready to line them up. And the green flag is dropped. Just going back at it in stage 2 here. So
as the outside lane,
13 to go.
Not much of a run on that outside lane as we saw in the second restart. Right now, Perky left out to dry.
Oh, 88 hard around.
88's in it. The one's in it.
1 car is involved. 22 and the 3 were also involved there. Ideally, it's starting to bite you in the butt a little bit of running in the back. As now we're going to see if it is going to be a caution or not. I do not believe it may be because it was 2 cars, so it might be a caution. They might be racing back. As Titans is now up to 2nd here. As no, there is no caution. Or I lied. Yes, there is a caution.
As it started to look like for a second there that the 43 and the 19 wanted to try to get that outside lane rolling. However, nobody really wanted to go. So I'm going to grab a blanket. It is very cold in here. I would turn the heater on, but that would be kind of loud, and I don't want to.
Yeah.
As looking at the cars that got damaged, the 88 and the 1, both involved in that accident. I think the 22 and the 3 might have been kind of involved as far as trying to get through it. Heavy damage to the 1, heavy damage to the 88 as well.
It's gonna be down. We're coming down now to 11 to go. It's really up to these guys now to think ahead. the next stage. At this point, like if you want to pit now, you're mainly looking ahead to the next stage. I don't believe we should see anybody. Diesel pulls off here. 14 as well, and the 21 of Perky.
So here comes a 3, 22, and 1. Surprisingly, did the 88 come down?
No, 88 of Mo Power stayed out.
That is surprising.
As he did get damage on that wreck. But he does stay out on the track here. Then they get Perky, Robbie Racing, Jocko, Diesel, and Bags are the only ones on pit road. 5 cars fitted. Oh, and Slade as well. Slade was on pit road.
Oh. That's a pretty big one.
Pole sitter Slade makes his way down pit road.
As right now we look back towards the front. We talked about Titans. He's been up front most of the day, been pretty calm, pretty quiet, just kind of sticking in the line and kind of riding around. Maybe he's going to try to make some noise. Coach Matt also on that outside lane, as well as Taddy.
Just getting lined back up. Titans. He might be that breakthrough driver tonight. He might be that driver that no one expected to get a W this season that gets a win right now. He's showcasing. He's been up to top 5. He's been flirting with that win. He just hasn't had the speed that some guys have had over the past couple weeks to get that win, but he's had solid finishes. Get ready for the restart here, I believe. I think they're going around again.
Go around one more time.
I should automatically suspect that they're going 2 laps. I don't know why I keep saying 1.
Well, sometimes it looks like they might be going just 1 because everybody's in line, and then kind of jukes us out.
Because we got a decent amount. We got a lot of people in the chats tonight, as well as watching this broadcast.
Max Boost right now sitting P10 right now in stage points, as well as Fluffy's up there still. We talked about the Fords a lot of the race, and now we're starting to see some Chevys. As right now it's 3 Fords on the inside, 3 Chevys on the outside.
And this is going to get very interesting here, guys. I mean, thinking at it again, Coach Matt, we got K-Taddy and Titans. I mean, the only 3 outside of that, only driver out of that top 3 on the outside that started inside that top 10. I mean, this is Coach Matt. The other 2 are from the back pack here. They're trying to show they're up. They can run up here. They got the 77 as well. And the 00. The only thing separating them is the 18, and the 18 has been willing to run that outside. So the outside may get a little jump. They might get that start they need here.
It's also thinking about it. We've got the 37 and 43 are Montgomery Motorsports teammates.
Approaching that Geico restart zone. They're going to hit full throttle. RPM's going up. Green flag.
Outside lane getting a good jump. The 8 sticking right with him this time. As 9 to go here in stage 2.
4 car. Got a little bit of a head there. 17's all over his bumper, as well as the 14. The 8 car dives back on the inside there. He realized that outside was not getting the run they needed. And jumped right back on the inside as fast as he could there. Titans trying to get a good finish here today.
Taddy's going to make it 3 wide, go to the outside of his teammate, Coach Matt. The 88's going to go down on the apron. He's going to hold it down there, though. As they are single file. Oh, contact!
Oh, we got some guys making contact up here. 3, 4 wide off at the turn 4.
They all kind of spread like a shotgun.
They're going to maintain everything here, and then we're still green. As now we're going to get split into 2 packs here. As this is split into a 6-7 car pack. And then the rest of the field here. And in that pack, there's Fluffy, there's RPM, there's Kill It Like, I want to say Jason, to be sure. Yes, there's Jason. There's as well as the 95 of Brennan, DK Brown. It's it's kind of a little bit of a battle here.
As they're going to have 7 to go this time by once we hit the start-finish line. I think it's going to be interesting to see what these guys do. Obviously, if they're wanting to, they're going to stay single file. But I feel like
about last lap.
I feel like we might see a couple of these Toyotas, Brennan and DK. I think we're going to see them maybe pop out, the 2 teammates.
And if I don't know how well the 8 car can run that outside lane. If he can run that lane outside lane very well, I believe the 95 and the 18 will take him up to the front there.
As they have 6 to go. Right now, everybody's riding calm. We're going to look back in the second pack, see who's in it. Coach Matt leads it. Taddy, second in line there. Slade, our pole sitter, got caught up in that incident, and he's right now sitting P3 in that line. Same thing with Diesel, same thing with Cola. As we're seeing those 2 Diesel drivers go to the outside, trying to get as many stage points as they can. As we look back up front, though, Mike RPM still leading the field. Tucked in right behind him, Fluffy, Kill It Like Jason. Those 2 have really worked with Mike very well up until this point in the race.
Sorry about that, as these guys are slowly pulling away again. They're just getting further and further away now. Now it's just down to these 7, and who's going to pull out to try and go get that win for this stage here.
It's a little bit further back in the pack. I caught it on Taddy's in-car. Slade makes it 3 wide to start leading that second pack.
Oh, 32 goes around a little bit. He saves it and is back on the track. No collisions here as we stay green.
Four to go here in stage 2.
Now it's getting down to it. Who's going to make the run? 62 looks up. 18 does not appear to go with him. As DK stays right there in that position, and they move that 62 back. They're coming to 3 to go in the stage, or 3 to go in the stage, yes. Sorry.
Workman's going to go all the way to the back. However, in my opinion, I would rather be towards the back of this line anyways, because if somebody makes a move, you're going to have the best seat of it. You're going to see where the holes are going to open, where they're going to close, and you're going to probably have the best opportunity to make something out of it.
Exactly, and honestly, like I said, most of these guys are in the back, especially now, they're only fighting for 8th through 10th. So if they win stage points, the only top 3 can get those points right now in those positions. So they're making moves as the 18 and the 78 as we got cars getting into it back in the pack here, as it looks to be a big one.
McLovin in it.
A minor big one.
Oh! 77 of max
22.
boost. Hits the 12.
77 as well. As we're still green up front, I do believe they're going to race back.
Think we are actually...
Actually, it might not be because we're getting down to the stage, so it might not be.
Check Taddy's in-car real quick.
Let's see who that Saint here involved.
They actually have... They're coming to 1 to go this time. Here in stage 2, so... They stay green. They're going to race this one out.
Is now the Fords are starting to get that little bit of a gap here. But can the 8 car get that run and try to chase him down? 8 car makes the move. Does the 18 go with him?
18 is doing it by himself. Getting that side draft.
The 8 car of Titans. Still trying. 95 trying to give him a push on the outside there. Oh, 18 gets pushed down by the 14, but it looks like the 4 of RPM is going to cap off stage 2.
P2 Fluffy, P3 Jason, P4 DK Brown, P5 was the 8 car, I believe. Then we had the 95 of Brennan. Then we have the 62, as I'm actually going to get a good look at it. As taking the stage points in the back, Slade gets P8, P9 went to Diesel, P10 goes to Coach Matt.
There's a nice run by those guys there. Impressive stage finish. We only have 1 car out of the race now. It is the 2 car of MJO. He has officially retired his 2 car from the race.
As your stage was, Mike RPM, Kill It Like Jason. Or no, Mike RPM, Fluffy, Kill It Like Jason. Sorry, I'm looking at the way that they're on screen. Then we had DK Brown was up in that mix. Titans with P5. P6 was Brennan. P7 was Workman. P8 Slade. P9 Diesel. P10 Coach Matt. Those are your stage points finishers.
Now we are approaching stage 3. As the front row gonna look like it's gonna be
Birdster.
Birdster in the 10. His teammate in the 4 car on the outside. Birdster with a little bit of strategy. So going back green flag.
As they cross the line here, they're going to have
33 to go.
Yep, 33 when they start the stage. As I was kind of expecting a little bit of strategy there with the 14 starting on the outside, I figured maybe they would try to get the 14 in, try to get the 3 of them leading a lane. Sadly, it didn't work out that way.
Do that. Now the strategy. There's a couple strategy plans here, but also this depends on if cautions are coming out. Stage 2 had a little bit more cautions. Now it's going to come down to cautions as these guys are getting 3 wide here in the back of the pack. As we come down to cautions, it's going to come down to Max Boost gets on the lane. It's going to come down to if there's no caution strategy calls. Now you want to get up front. You want to get aggressive.
Oh, 21 goes around.
Now. Oh, that's
3 car wreck.
32 Extreme is involved. 16 is involved.
Looked like there was a little bit of contact between the 21 and the 14 earlier. Not too far before that, I believe it was the 14. 21 just got loose.
So
as they're going to race
back
it.
To the line here. 95 trying to get some positions on him. The 19 his teammate's going to help him out on the outside. Trying to gain as many positions as they can. The 4 looking to try to get that lead back. RPM. As I believe he's going to do it.
He's going to get it.
To the line here.
Oh,
RPM.
3 wide.
I believe the 14 on the outside there will be in a P2 position. Heck of a run by those guys right there. They were determined to get back in that top spot. Oh, the 38, sorry. Slade. Sorry, Slade. 14, 38. The paint schemes look similar.
Both beautiful looking Fords. Easy to get them mixed up.
As you can tell right there, they were just racing back to the line, but that's how much stage 3 means right now. These guys want to stay up in these positions, but if they can get in that top position that they want, this also allows them to figure out how they want to plan in this race here. It's going to get way more aggressive now towards the end of this race now.
As the 6 of Barry-Nate's going to go and get his lap back. We're starting to see the Fords again. 1, 2, 3, 4 right now. The 14 to Kill It Like Jason was up there before he wasn't able to get quite the restart he wanted. But now we're starting to see Chevrolets too, as there's 3 Chevrolets right behind them.
See, he's going to hit pit road here.
Slade's going to lead.
Pulls off. And then Coach Matt looks like he's going to bring the rest of the field with him, as I believe the 14 stays out, Kill It Like Jason. 32 stays out as well of NASCAR Extreme. So you get the 4, 17 to stay out, the 62, the 10, the 8. A couple guys stay out here. A little bit of strategy plan. And in all retrospect, I believe these guys are thinking caution's going to breed cautions, and I think they're trying to think they don't have to pit. Because in all naturality, these guys might not have to pit. they can make it if there's enough caution. So if they can, maybe that could be another strategy way you go about it. Save fuel under these cautions here, and you can ride it neutral and coast and save that fuel. So
I mean, we're starting to see a little more aggression out of these guys, which personally I knew it was going to happen. We both knew it was going to happen.
Yep,
Stage one is just you got to chill. Stage 2, you got to chill, but you also got to be a little more aggressive because you want to put yourself in a good position for Stage 3. Stage 3, you're going all out.
And like I wanted to point on in Stage 2. Stage 2 is kind of like it's kind of the test. You want to test the waters a little bit. You want to show like, all right, can I run this outside with these guys? Oh, can't do that. Go back to the bottom. Or can I actually run this bottom with these guys? Can I make these moves by myself and get around these cars? It's kind of a little test session in that in the midway point of the race. And as you get towards the end of the Stage 2, that's when things start to ramp up. You know you want to position yourself well, as you pointed out, for Stage 3. And then Stage 3 is all it's all out. It's all out. Hands are off, the gloves are off at that point. You're going full throttle.
Looking through the field, we got quite a few guys who haven't really been close to the front that are up here. Workman up to P4. Looking at other guys,
making his way back up there.
Cola is now made his way into the top 10. He's been towards the front, but he's been in that pack that was saving very early on in the race. Jose back up front as well. Taddy continues to be a top 10 car. So hopefully he can get a good restart here, maybe get himself a good run. Same thing for Coach Matt. Those guys have been top 10 cars all race long. As we get ready to settle back in and go green, Stage 3 just continues to be Stage 3. A lot of different things going on. I mean, a lot of these guys might be in the back because they know that cautions are going to happen. Maybe pit, get out of it, or maybe they're thinking no cautions, just work together, get through it, make a lane, hope it sticks. You never know what's going to happen until it happens here at Daytona. As your front row has been just about the same way. They've been running 1-2. They're going to restart 1-2. Mike RPM on the inside, Fluffy on the outside. Birdster pulled a strategy call, and now he sits top 5 in the 3rd position.
So get ready for the restart. Teammates on the inside of road, a 14 and a 6 lane outside of the 77. I believe it's dropping back as well to 22. So we're going back green.
As we see
Max
outside.
Boost, I think Max Boost is done. I think Max Boost is retired from the race here, guys.
See his car on the beginning of pit road there. I don't
think he got down pit road that fast, so I think he might be gone. Eliminates one of the top contenders for this race here.
As the outside started to have a little bit of fight there, but the outside was just outnumbered by the inside. As right now we see Mike RPM doing what he's done a lot of this race. Other than Slade, he's been the guy that has been out front almost all day. It's going to go to the outside. Going to pull Titans up there. Here comes Cola.
Cola trying to make move. Ooh, guys getting squirrely there. Titans got a little squirrely on the outside. He moves his way back up there. Can he find a lane back onto the inside there? Coach Matt looked like he wanted to go with him. Chose otherwise. His Workman is up to 3rd.
Bags.
Start to see. Go ahead, my man. I'm sorry.
Bags was a lap down. I don't know if you remember that. It was in that pit cycle. He did not get his lap back. I think he was actually a lap down for most of that second stage. Right now, I believe he's on the lead lap inside the top 10, so he has rebounded very well. Another guy that's rebounded pretty well was the, I believe he's back on the lead lap, the 3. I don't know where he is. I swear that was him, or unless I just got him mixed up with the 19. That is exactly what I just did. Never mind.
The 3 car is back in this smaller pack with Barrett Nate, the 32, as well as back there in this smaller group here. Appreciate you guys in the chat. We try to do as best we can every week, giving you guys the best experience we can for these races. So appreciate you guys tuning in, and thanks for the pointers. I like to be told we're doing an awesome job. It kind of makes us feel good. Now we start to see this single file again. Oh, Slade runs into the back of the 19.
19 goes to the grass.
Goes back across the track.
Makes contact with the 3. I don't know if the 3 held on to it. About to find out.
And that could have been lag. That might have been due to lag. I'm not even sure. The 38 rolled up on that 19 very fast.
Yeah, we're looking at the 3. The 3 with a little bit of front end damage, but he held it straight. So we're going to go back up front with the leaders here, see if that is in fact a yellow.
Racing back to the line here. And I see guys racing here, so I believe we are coming back to the line here for the yellow.
Yellow is out.
Tough break there for some guys here, especially the 19 Diesel. He looked like he was having a great run up front, and now he's going to have to work his way back up to the front again.
So I'm going to watch one of our onboards and see how many laps we have left here in the Daytona 250 from Daytona International Speedway. We appreciate you guys tuning in. It's been a great show so far. Hopefully you guys are enjoying it as much as we are up here in the booth.
As well, I'm having a great time calling this race. This race is fun. So now we're getting down towards the end of this race here. As we can see if anybody gonna make that strategy call, head down pit road.
Here comes all the leaders.
It looks like everybody, 21 of Perky, nope. Perky comes in. As well, the field, all the field comes in here.
Is it 32 getting a lap back, or that is him getting a lap back, I believe. Yes, it is. He's going to take the wave around here as they have 24 to go. So right now, they actually just took 23. So they are good to go on fuel.
Yes, they can make it to the end of fuel, and now that throws that out of the equation. Fuel is gone. There's no really race strategy at this point. It's full throttle, all-out racing now. It's whoever can hold it off. Man, who you got? Who do you think can do it? As I believe Coach Matt will actually be starting up front. He will be our 5th different leader.
To his outside, Cola Motorsports.
Looking for another win. Looking for a 3rd win on the year.
Celtics has not been up front a lot of the race. Been involved in a couple accidents. He has rebounded very well up to P3. Something to pay attention to, though. Mike RPM. I do not see him in the top 10. We're going to try to figure out where he is.
He's actually in 9th.
So he fell back just a little bit.
Actually, he's in 11th. My bad.
So he's now outside the top 10. He has a very quick car. He can rebound. Someone that we haven't talked about, other than getting a little loose there when he made that contact with the 19, has been Slade.
Yep. And Slade, our pole sitter, he wants that position back. He got that position. He wants to win from that position.
Stay will go one more lap here before we go green. And I believe at this point we will have 22 to go.
Oh, I actually think we're going green this time. Yes, we are going green. Shorter
all right.
Laps. Less laps in this race. Trying to get this race get back going here. So we're back green. 43 of Coach Matt, 88. I see the Fords got shuffled out. It is now the Chevys in the top 3. Now we head down the back here. 43 of Coach Matt, one of my favorite drivers in the VRL league, racing league here, up there with Brennan and Slade and Max Goose as well. These are my favorite guys. Teach us a lot, can teach you a lot. The guys I just named off, those are guys. If you are in the Valor Racing League in the National or Cup Series, you just need a little bit of help. Those are the guys to go to. They know what they're doing. They got it down packed. Those are the ones to go for here. So now we are coming to, I believe, soon as Brennan crosses the line in the 11th position. And we are down to 21 to go, sorry.
So right now we're seeing a 2-car breakaway up front just a little bit. The 43 of Coach Matt, 88 of Celtics. Then we got Workman, Cola, Kill It Like Jason, who has been in the top 5 most of the day. Great run for him. And we're starting to see Fluffy and Slade come back. Speaking of Slade, trying to get a run on the outside.
As Jose's getting that run on the outside there, he had a heck of a run coming, but he didn't get to that 38 fast enough. As the 62 tries to get up there, as now guys are going to try to get racy here. We see some double file racing here now.
So we see Mike RPM kind of tailing onto the back of that little pack that we got going on there.
Now, the aggression is gonna pick up. 38 of Slade. Now the 20 car of Cola jumps up top, trying to get that top groove going here, as they have 5 cars, but not compared to that inside about a good 12, 13 cars.
I think we saw a little bit of lag.
I seen the 20 with the lag spike there. It shuffles a 38 back. Now the 20, I believe, had just a little lag spike. I do believe he might be falling back now because he had that lag spike. And that not ruined the 38, but now the 38 of Slade has got to rebound. And he can't lose focus here. And I know Slade, I know how calm and collected he will be. He's got to sit back and he's got to realize this is still a good almost 19, 20 laps now. He's got a decent amount of time and it still could be cautious as his way to work up there. He just got to avoid the wrecks and stay calm here. It's outside. We'll get going again.
We had a car challenge for the lead for just a second. Workman pulled out, tried to get a run. Did not work. He's going to fall all the way back. No, I don't see anybody letting him in here in stage 3, as I believe we are approaching 17 to go.
Yes, it is 17 to go here. Coach Matt out front, only our 5th different leader. Jocko looks to have hit the wall and come off the pace now in the back of the field. He's off pace. Single car, though. This is still green. 21 got out the groove there. And now guys are going to be pushing hard. The speeds are going to ramp up here. The 62 of Workman, he's the 88 of Mo Powers up there with the 1 car trying to get a run.
Yeah, Celtics moved out. Jason kind of said, no, I'm not going to go with you.
They thought about it, kind of pushed them up the hill there with that side draft. I don't know, man. Do you see them running this single file until the end of this race?
I don't see it, man, but something that we talked about earlier, we touched on, we're starting to see the 4 and the 10 work together. Their teammates up front. If they can get the 3 of them together, those 3 are going to be a unit. They all have quick cars.
Unit. As we've seen it at Talladega and the actual NASCAR Cup Series back in 2018. In the fall race at Talladega, we seen all 4 Stewart-Haas Racing Fords just take off from the field, and then even throughout the race, they just served and protect and helped each other throughout the whole race. And then when it got down to the end of it, it was whoever got it. And that's what we're starting to see here. If they can get all 3 of them up there, it might be a show they might put on here.
As we look at Workman making that move, it didn't really work. We talked about it in stage 1 when I believe it might have been him that tried to make a move. It didn't really work. We talked about how they could reset it. That move right there, that did not work. Oh, the 19 in the wall.
19's in the wall. As these guys save it. 62's now involved. 12 cars around, double zeros around.
That's going to be a yellow.
Caution. As now these guys are racing here to the caution flag now. It's 17. A Fluffy looking to try to get the lead on Coach Matt on the outside with Titans shoving him on the outside as well. Coach Matt looks to hold that inside. He looks to believe he will cap it off and hold on at the caution break.
So Coach Matt is your leader.
And actually, yes. Okay, there we go. Sometimes they just don't let off the gas at times that I don't think they are.
So 15 to go here in the Daytona 250. As we are under yellow once again.
I want to point out our front runners here. And I want to point out their starting positions real quick. And let's just see how this stacks out here. All right, the 43, started 9th. We got the 14. He started in the 7th position. Okay, those two guys have already been in top 10 most of the race. 43 dropped back a little bit and has been running around. The 4 car obviously has been up front. But then we got guys that haven't necessarily been up towards the front. Then actually started in the back. Titans is one as well. We touched on. Fluffy is another one we touched on. Brennan is another one we touched on. I mean, we got a lot of guys. They're coming from the back here to try to get a win.
As I don't see anybody coming down pit road in this front top 10, as I believe that is the 32.
Back. And Slade hits pit road actually. 38, the 1, the 6, the 19. Probably had some damage after going wall to car being a sandwich there.
As looking up front, 3 of the top 4, those here to win esports cars. We've talked about it. We've touched on it. They're Fords. The Fords have been dominant all race. Speaking of Fords, it's starting to look like a Ford v Chevy war out here, as the top 10
Ford
is all
versus
Chevys and
Chevy
Fords.
Here. And I mean, it's not my cup of tea in the series. I drive the Toyota gang, you know, but it is starting to look like a Chevy and Ford battle, as you got the teammates 2nd, 3rd, 4th. Or 2nd, yeah, sorry, 2nd, 3rd, 4th. Got it right. 2nd, 3rd, 4th. These guys are good. I would like to see the Ford try to get up there on that outside with them and try to get that lead. These guys are, if they want to take over this race, that's what it's going to take here.
And what this would be for Coach Matt, some people would think this is biased because I'm on Montgomery, but we've been on quite a roll in the National Series and in the Cup Series. We've had decent runs, and Coach Matt has not had the best of luck lately. Last night, ran a really good race, dominated, lost it on the last lap. Watkins Glen had an incident with McLovin, racing incident, really just hard racing, and he's in this position again. So for his sake, I'm hoping he pulls through and gets it, just because I've been on a long streak of losing races on the last lap before, and it's not fun. As green flag is back out, he's going to get a good jump.
I do want to point out, where's the next Chevrolet?
That is a very good question. Looking behind him,
wolf out there. As you can see, he's getting a big gap, and that's not something you want to do. The 4 could be looking to his outside. He does. Will 21 carry that speed with him? If the 21 goes, that outside lane goes. 21 does not, but will the 88 get there?
So race down the back straightaway. Going to do a quick check with our onboard. See how many laps we have to go. I believe we are at 13 or 12 this time by.
Come off turn 4 here. RPM is now back in the lead with Fluffy on his tail in 2nd. The Ford is starting to showcase their speed. The 88 trying to get a run on the outside. He wants somebody to go with it, but no one's moving right now.
As we have 12 to go here in the Daytona 250, it's getting to be go time.
Yes, it is. It's getting down. Boys getting hungry. And now they're back single filed again. That's the 37 of K Taddy trying to make some runs here. But no one wants to go with him again. As the 14 looked to do it, but he came back on inside.
And that is one less Chevy that is able to be a friend for Coach Matt. That's one less teammate, too. They were teammates. But right now, he's in a Ford swamp other than the 8.
We are at 11 to go. The fight is on, and once this 10 laps to go hits, it's going to amp up.
As Cyber K is also out of the race, as I'm going to see all the cars that are on pit road. 22 also out.
Jocko, he's out.
The 2 left very early on. I believe Cola is also out. Cola Motorsports.
Oh. A lot of key guys. Cola's out. The 77 is out. Now, come down to 10 laps to go here at Daytona. So I see the single file game. As now Slade has made his way back into the top 10. But can he work his way up to the front?
I think something I'm starting to notice here, if you look at the first car that's leading that gap that started to lift a little bit, it's Birdster. You look at the car that's currently tailing that first little group, never mind, they've already caught back up to each other, but it was actually the 14 to Jason, so they could have tried to get a run going, maybe get up there to their teammate, try to get a 1-2-3 out of this. But coming to 9 to go, if you're going to make a move, you might want to start formulating a plan with the guys that are around you that you're communicating with.
Yep. You're getting down towards the end of this race. You can't wait. And I know a lot of guys want to sit there and wait to the last lap, but you can't. I mean, especially if you're further back, you got to make those moves now.
And right now, Fluffy has been pushing the 4 car almost all race. So you got to think that he knows that he's been working with him. And he kind of knows his tendencies as far as when he's leading a lane.
You gotta pay attention to that stuff. It's key, especially when it comes down to the end of the race. You know you've been working with that guy the whole race, and you know how they're going up. You see how the 4 car is slowly not on that line. The 17's probably paying attention to that, and it's gonna take that into account when if he tries to make a pass on him.
You might want to be looking at when he slides up, when he goes down a little too far, because if he goes down a little too far, you go to the outside, you're going to get a decent run. It's all about who helps you, though. Here comes Coach Matt.
Run, but he goes back on the inside there. 21 wasn't close enough. He didn't have the speed.
Here comes Slade. Here comes Workman. Those guys trying to get a run going.
So now the outside gets the movement.
They've got a good amount. They need a little more, though.
12 cars in the wall. He starts to lose a little bit of ground. They need more guys. Try to make that outside lane work as they're starting to abandon. And I know Slade, I know he's getting so frustrated right now that nobody's trying to take that outside lane. But that's where I came across again. Track position is key. You can see the 4 car, the 14, 17. These guys all have been up front a little bit towards the majority of this race. Track position is key, and Slade is starting to see that now as he's struggling to get back up towards the front. He's getting a little aggressive. He's moving 37 out the way now. Starting to possibly make his way. 32's off the pace of NASCAR Stream, but he's in the back of the pack. He's not in his business. We're coming down to, I believe
they're coming to 6.
17, 4. Top 2 right now. Coach Matt. Oh, what a win it would be for Coach Matt. What a win. His bad luck, as you pointed out, he's had a string of bad luck. What a win it would be if he could just knock that off for him. 21 of Perky. And Titans. Titans has been in that top 5 since stage 2 has started. And he's been in that top 5 since. He has not been any further back. Is now coming to 5 to go here at Daytona in the VRL Pocono Raceway Cup Series.
The 18 and 88 tried to go up and get a run, I believe, but I think the 88 pulled back in, so that's going to leave DK by himself here. No help. As these guys are racing to 4 to go, they're running out of time to start making moves. However, I believe Coach Matt right now has the best seat, because 17 can't get much of a run if he's pushing the 4, and I don't see Fluffy leaving the 4 unless they get a run behind him, because Fluffy's that kind of guy.
It all depends on the 20. It all depends on 21. The 43 wants to go. The 43 has been laying off to try to go. It all depends on if that 21 wants to go with him. And yeah, the 8 car could go with him, but the 8 car is not right on his bumper. So it's not going to work out as the 8. Oh, thought I was going on 21 there. The 8 car just has to get that. He wants to get that run from the 43. The 8 looks again, but he goes back on the inside.
So they're coming to 3 to go.
Now, 95. He's back in the 8th position. Looking for a solid day here as well.
Slade Workman trying it again.
Slade's
going to go into the wall.
Contact. Oh, we got cars around. Slade's around. 62 as well. Workman's around. I don't believe there's going to be a caution because it's 4 to go.
Does not seem like it.
It might be a green white. They might do a green white checker. I don't know. I don't really know how to. I've never had a caution come out in the last 5 laps. So.
Well, they're actually coming to 2 to go right now, I believe.
Yeah. So this might be the race here.
As right now, look who lifted. Look who's trying to get a run. Fluffy's gonna back
17.
off.
Trying to get that run, but the 21's not having it there. He's looking at the outside. Tries to go back. He goes back on the inside here. 2 to go this time. Now, guys, can't be patient no more here. It's all about take now. You can't give no more. 43 would kill to have that 8 car in the back of his bumper. He doesn't know what the 21's going to do. He doesn't know if the 21's going to stick with those 4s or not. And the 8 car's not close enough to him to get that speed to where they can overtake the lead.
Here comes Coach Matt on the outside. He's got help.
8 car as well.
Oh.
17 tried to side draft there. Fluffy trying to keep that. Coach Matt on the outside with Perky and Titan trying to make a run. As I see Brennan as well trying to get up there. We're coming to the white flag this time.
So right now, Mike RPM takes the white flag. He's led almost all race. The car that is right behind him, though, could play a factor. Fluffy in the 17. 2 teammates right behind Fluffy, though, the 14. So if Fluffy tries to make a move, I doubt that we're going to see the 14 and 10 go with him.
I don't see it either. Teammates stick together here. Can anybody in the back shuffle this up here coming down the back? Guys are giving each other the bumps from hell right now. I see guys getting so sideways, going down this back straightaway. As it looks to be, the 4 car can hold it. Can the 4 hold it on? The 17 must know that his teammates are not going to help him here. It looks to be a Ford victory here.
Across the line, Mike RPM dominates all day. Mike RPM is going to take the Daytona 250. Fluffy P2.
Yes,
P3 goes to Birdster. Kill it like Jason with a good run. A great run for Here to Win Esports. Talked about them early in the race.
Fords had a heck of a race. They showcased their speed. They were up front all day.
As the rest of your top 10, Mike RPM, Fluffy, Birdster, Kill It Like Jason, Ford top 4, Titans P5, P6 Celtics, P7 Bags, P8 DK Brown, P9 is K Taddy, P10 is Perky.
What a race. What a finish.
A great run there by Mike RPM. Dominated all day long, other than Slade taking the pole. We had quite a few different leaders, but at the end of the day, Mike RPM doing exactly what he needed to get it done, and he's put it in victory lane here tonight.
Yes, he did. Congratulations to Mike RPM in that 4 car.
So we get ready to roll here. We will get our top 3 finishers in the booth.
Smart. Great race. This is about a lot of those guys. A lot of great finishes for most of those guys there.
His fastest lap of the race was Jose with a 42.868.
How to win guys today.
Talked about them midway through the race, and then they're at the end of the run. We saw it play a factor. All 3 of them up at the front, and all 3 of them get a top 5 finish. So great run by them. As we're going to get to talk to 2 of them here in just a minute. guys got your mic audio on? All right, 10-4. All right, so time for interviews. Start with our P3 finisher. Driver the number 10 for Here to Win Esports, it was Birdster who came home P3 in this race. Birdster, you had a great run there at the end. You kind of stayed quiet for the beginning part of the race, but stage 2, stage 3, you came alive, and you were right up there with your teammates. Walk us through your race.
Yeah, it was pretty hectic to start with. Got shuffled in the back, a lap down, and fought hard to get back, and everything just felt right. And I was able to stay in the draft and find my way to the front. Just keep clean, stay out of trouble.
So when you kind of noticed that obviously Mike had a very good car, and I'm going to guess that you guys all had the same car, did you kind of know that if you guys were there at the end, that you guys would have a great shot at getting all three of you guys top fives?
Yeah, absolutely. Once we got up there, we were just committed to stay with each other and not go with anybody else and just stay on the bottom go as far as we could. So I was able to get third out of it past Jason. With about 10 feet left. He wiggled a little bit, but top 3.
So moving on from this race, obviously getting 3 cars in the top 5, that is a lot of momentum going into the next race, and you guys have had pretty good runs up until this point. So moving on, as far as staying quick, I know you guys can do it because you guys are all really good drivers. You proved that tonight. Do you think that this is a factor that could lead to success, and not just in the Cup Series, but you've had great runs in the National Series as well? Do you think this could kind of take the morale up quite a bit?
Yeah, of course. Just got to keep having better luck. I've been having bad luck the past few races. Hopefully to turn it around now. So I want to keep the momentum going forward.
Qual, do you have any questions for him?
No, you covered basically everything. Just congratulations, dude, on top 3, as well as your team on the top 5. Y'all showcased a lot of speed, and y'all did great.
Yeah, we did great tonight. Yeah, good win, Mike.
It was a good team win there.
Oh, yeah.
All right, well, we appreciate your time. Congratulations on your P3 finish, and we will talk to you next time, hopefully.
All right, thank you, buddy.
All right, so that was Birdster finishing P3 in the number 10 for Here to Win Esports. We move on to the driver who finished second today after starting 17th with a great run. Driver of the number 17 for Peach Motorsports, or Peach State, sorry. That would be the 17 of Fluffy.
What's going on, guys?
Not much, man. You had a great run today. Started P17, made your way through the field, and there at the end, I mean, you proved to be Mike's best friend through that race. You never left his bumper. Walk us through your race.
Yeah, man. You know, we had to go through trials and tribulations through that race. You know, starting 17th, and it was kind of a tough battle to get up to the front. But when we finally got there, we just we put ourselves in a good place. Made a really good strategic moves later in the race as well. I was stuck to the 40. I was stuck to the 4, but honestly, for the past 2 races, man, you know, I've had some really bad luck, and I really needed the points because I knew if I got out of line and I tried to make a move on the 4, I wouldn't have I would have probably got some really devastating final points in the final stage there. But overall, you know, we try to just find the best possible scenario for us to get the points because of Dover and Kentucky. So you know, that was a very just strategic move on our part, and yeah.
Well, it was a heck of a run for you, man. I do have one thing to kind of say on the fact that you basically made the 4 car your best friend. Did you have any intentions of pulling out, or did you just say, you know what, a P2 is a good finish today? That's what I'm gonna take.
There were times where I wanted to pull out, but I knew that the majority of the people behind me wouldn't make the move, I don't think, and I would have probably not finished second or first. I probably would have finished 9th or 10th. So pretty much I had to stay in that position to even get points. And, you know, overall, that's literally what we needed tonight, was just have points and to move forward and to Vegas next week with a little bit of momentum.
Well, congratulations again on the P2 finish there, Fluffy. You showcased a lot of speed here as of late, as well as in the NASCAR heat. So, in NASCAR heat community in general. So, congratulations, my guy.
Thank you, buddy. Thank you, guys.
As we shift to our winner of the race.
How's it going, fellas?
Driving that number 4 car, the Busch scheme. It was a great run for you, man. You basically led the majority of the race. There was I counted, I think, 5 to 6 leaders in that race, and you were the main one that led the race besides Slade. You were the other main driver. You kept it up front the majority of the race. How did you hang on to that and keep that lead and keep that position on the rest of this field?
Well, I'll tell you, all the luck was on my side. It seemed to play out in my favor every time. And as soon as, I guess that first stage, I knew I was going to have to save gas, and I had a really good fuel save in. So I just sat behind Slade, let him use up all his stuff, and he towed me around, and I ended up winning the stage. And then stage 2 was basically the same thing. And I ended up saving enough and getting back to the lead and kind of just going when I had to, and we won that stage. And then at the end there, I pitted and I took 4 tires, and I thought, well, that's it. I went back to 11th, I think, on that restart with like 18 to go. And
we pointed that out, yes.
Yeah, everybody took like 2 tires or something, 2 and no tires, and I was like, oh my god, why did I take 4? But it just ended up we just drove through the field and had our buddies behind us, Fluffy. We made a good pass on the 43 there, kind of hung back on a restart and timed it perfectly, and everybody went with us. So just as one of those races where you get lucky and everything falls your way, and we swept the stages and got the win. So it's big momentum. It's about time we got a win. We've been knocking on the door. So, and I'm proud of the teammates, top 5. So it's a good race all around.
Well, congratulations to your whole team there. You guys did great. And as a whole, as a unit, and y'all showcased that teamwork, y'all showcased that Joe Gibbs kind of did in 2016 Daytona 500, that working together, and y'all finished in the top 5 positions there. It wasn't really a battle between your teammates, but you still got the win overall. Ford showcased a lot of speed too as well. I don't know if you saw that, but a lot of Fords were up there towards the front.
Oh yeah, absolutely. It was fun moving around. I know Fluffy and I aren't teammates, but I knew I'd find him up there, and and we'd get bumper to bumper. I knew that would be pretty quick, but yeah, it was just fun. You get up there, and it's tough. It's tough to pass when you got a couple teammates in line that just are committed to the bottom. So that's just how it is on these NASCAR Heat 5 plate tracks.
Well, heck of a win for you, my man. Ty, do you got anything for him?
The only thing that I really want to ask is, obviously, when you're towards the end of the race and you have somebody behind you and you're leading the race and you're in the hot bird seat, obviously you kind of have the feeling of, what if the guy behind me leaves? Even though Fluffy was behind you for a lot of that race and he never left your bumper, were you kind of thinking that there was a chance that he could end up pulling out?
Absolutely, yeah. There was, I think it was like 2 or 3 to go. I think one of us lag spiked each other, and it was like a 10-car length gap, and I thought, well, if he wants to, he can get a run and leapfrog me and just drive around me without any help, and he didn't do that. And that's when I knew that he was going to be committed and stick with me. But that was the only time other than that. And I knew that I had my 2 teammates behind Fluffy. So if Fluffy went out there, it was my 2 teammates were going to take over his position. So it's kind of got lucky there, how it worked out.
All right, well, congratulations on your win. That was a dominant showing from you tonight. And hopefully you guys can continue that momentum. You guys definitely have a lot after that. So congratulations on your win, and hopefully we'll see you next time.
Thank you, fellas. Appreciate it.
Appreciate you, bro.
So as you guys heard Fluffy mention there, after this race, he wants to move on to Las Vegas. That is where the Pocono Raceway Cup Series will be next Tuesday night. That was a great race that we put on tonight for you guys. Hope you all enjoyed it. Koala, do you have anything left to say before we close it out?
The fact that it was just a great race and it was all out fun for all of the guys. I hope that the majority of the guys had fun. I know Coach Matt didn't really, appreciate being left out to dry there, but that's part of Super Speedway racing there, and I think he understands that too as well. And most guys, got the finishes they did. I will say A2W, hell of a finish for those guys. they put on a show for us tonight, and other than that, man, I don't have much. This was a fun night. It was fun broadcasting with you, dude.
It's very fun to be up here. Hopefully I get the chance to do it again sometime, filling in for Jimster tonight. But on behalf of everybody here at Valor Racing League and everybody on the track tonight, again, congratulations to Mike RPM on his win. Very dominant showing. But that is going to do it for us tonight. If you guys enjoyed, hit the like button. Make sure you subscribe.
Yes.
And we will see you next time. So on behalf of everybody,
Yes, sir, we will.
good night.
Good night, guys. And hopefully Jimson, you got home safe, man. Be safe.